there are a lot of religious organizations that have actually participated in those events as well. So I feel like there's a pretty open-minded group of both religious and non-religious people in this part of the state of Arkansas that I feel like we kind of fit in pretty well. And if there ever is kind of negative backlash, we definitely have a lot of allies out there who I think would take our side.
Right, because I know, trying to think of his name right now, but from the American Atheists, David Silverman is very much a firebrand. Is that kind of something that your organization looks to be more of, or are you looking to be more of the Hemet Meta style, friendly, kinder, gentler secular humanists?
I would say
I would say more along the lines of Hemet, and if you want to be an outspoken atheist fireball, I guess you want to say, it would definitely not vibe well with a humanist organization. We're more about assisting others, helping others, giving them a pathway that is not a Protestant type of environment. Okay. And
we're definitely not aggressive and negative in what we do. So because again, our goals are community unity, that kind of community activism and service. And if your bigger goals are going out there and actually helping the community and the citizens that are in it, you're going to find yourself allied with people from the religious community as well. And and as long as that kind of separation between the public sphere and religion is respected, and the
boundaries are respected.
People continue to be open-minded. I don't see why we would ever have any problem like that, as long as that that kind of separation between church and state is still there.
So if someone like, say, Ken Ham were to develop a Ark Park type of scenario here in Northwest Arkansas, would you guys be out there protesting that too, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we would be protesting that as a way to raise awareness of the horrible lack of science and facts that
the lies
that something like Ken Ham's park brings. His park is based off of at best you could call
fiction.
It pseudoscience, but
at worst, fiction.
It's fiction, and it thrives by trying to indoctrinate children. And I think in any kind of society where people are not taught from a very young age how to think critically and accept science, you're going to run into a lot of troubles. And something like his park is kind of the roots of a lot of those troubles. So yeah, we would protest that.
We would also you will also find us protesting with the group of Black Lives Matter. You would also find us protesting with an LGBTQ community. You're going to find us protesting if it's going to assist with equal rights, as well as removing the fiction of the Bible,
right?
Within indoctrinating our children in and around our city.
Right. I know that there was kind of a kerfluffle there towards the end of the school year down towards Farmington. Did you guys get involved with that in any way, or did the situation resolve?
The situation resolved before our organization was actually aware. That unfortunately happens quite a bit, because if we're not made aware of it as it's happening, it's kind of difficult for us to get involved.
Yeah, but sometimes when those things have happened, it's been people who are maybe be a part of our organization, or people who are part of, if you remember a while back with the coach in Little Rock, the Arkansas Society of Freethinkers stepped in. So even if as an organization we're not the ones that are there jumping in time to kind of put a stop to a lot of this kind of stuff, there's still organizations we're connected to, or people in our organization that kind of already doing that on their own. So I feel like at the very least we kind of are still there in the background as a support group if they ever need us.
Now, concerning Farmington, we were able to get notification to the FFR, and they did step in, they did send a letter, and they did cease as their practice of holding prayer at graduation.
Right.
And that also, another one was sent to the Gentry, I believe it is, as well.
Okay. Well, let's see, some other Now, along with the community outreach, and you talked about the Black Lives Matter protest that they had down in Fayetteville. I believe it was about the Sandra Bland.
It was the anniversary of Sandra Bland.
Yeah.
And that I know, Justin, you had gone to that. I don't know.
I did as well.
Okay. What was that like? I mean, because I know you were working with a few church organizations
very
too.
Inspirational. My daughter is black, and the gentleman that was killed in Philandro is a blood relative of hers. Now, she's never met him. She has no connection with him. But it did send a bell home, just a realization of this can happen to anybody. Mm-hmm. This can happen to my daughter. This can happen to a very close friend of hers. Her own friend, who's a very dark-skinned complected, was pulled over for no reason. It happens here in Fayetteville. And it was just really important. It was really inspiring. And watching my youngest, who ran off ahead of us, she was actually very into it, inspired, and pretty excited about it. It was a learning experience for her, so it was a learning experience for us too.
Yeah, and I did do a live feed of some of the event that you can find on our Facebook group. I would say, it was probably less of a protest and more of a vigil and a march. Mm-hmm. It actually started at St. Episcopal Church off of Dixon Street in Fayetteville. And the thing that I appreciate about events like that and our connection with them is their whole goal is to raise awareness and peacefully, and especially at that event, they did talk about some of the problems that people of color in general, not just the black community, but other minority communities, as well as the gay community. They did discuss about issues that they face as well, and they did also talk about the shooting that happened recently in Dallas against police officers, and their whole mission is unity. Their whole mission is that this doesn't need to be just
blue lives versus black lives.
Yeah, and their whole mission was community, and was bringing the open dialogue between our own local police officers and members of our community who, because of all the things they see on the national news, may feel some concern that those things can happen in our community, and so the whole goal is to kind of step in and prevent those things and kind of let the dust settle and calm everyone's nerves on all sides of the issue. So it was about equality and community, really, and I think that's where we, as an organization, as a humanist organization, really fit in perfectly with something like that. And
you guys also participated in the Pride Parade back in June, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to get along with that because of my daughter being sick. But how did that go? I mean, what was your involvement with that? And
Tara, they marched in the parade, so.
It was a little wet.
Tell a little bit more about that.
It was a little wet. It rained on us, but as soon as we actually started marching, it cleared up. So apparently God was favorable on us that day. Joking. It was really enjoyable. We got to chant at the Westboro Baptist Church. It was entertaining, and they looked so sad. They looked absolutely sad.
They were greatly outnumbered.
Yeah, it's just sad to see somebody so tired and worn and saddened by our jovial behavior.
Yeah.
How dare you guys be happy?
Yes, we should not be happy.
Sinners.
But I couldn't imagine going through life so bitter, so sad, so angry.
Well, was my favorite protester there this year? A couple of years ago, when I went back when I was in church, there was a gentleman, and I think you guys may have seen him in Rogers a couple times. He wears the bright yellow shirt that says "Turn or Burn" or something along those lines. He has the PA microphone and screams at the street corners.
Yes, he was there.
Oh,
yes, he was there
every time I see him, I just want to get out of my car and just hug him.
Yeah, give him a big old hug. Yeah, it's sad how tired they are. Angry they are, the hate that they carry.
Equality hurts some people.
Yeah,
I think it was Alex Jules said that. What was it? He said that when you are the oppressive majority, equality feels like oppression.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's keep it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
We need to keep that oppression up.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about covers everything.
I'd love to give a quick way of getting in touch with us.
That would be good. I was just about to jump into that part. How can people get a hold of you if they have any questions, or if they want to join up with the organization, or maybe just donate to help keep a humanist light lit here in Northwest Arkansas?
Multiple ways. One way to donate would be going to www.nwahumanist.com and click on the donate button, or click on the membership button, and we will help you get started as a member and more involved. You can also find us on Facebook with NWA Humanists. All you have to do is do a quick search. You'll find our Facebook page. You can also email us at nwahumanists@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us this time. Thank you guys both so much for coming on and talking with me this afternoon.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the meeting.
Okay. See you then.
Okay, well, that was our my discussion with Tara and Justin from the NWA Humanists Association. They're a really good outfit, and again, they gave their information. I'm going to try to put it in the show notes here later on. Excuse me, sorry, a little bit of a frog in my throat there. Let's see. The next thing that I was going to talk about tonight, before we kind of close off or before we go into the beer section of the show, I wanted to break down a little ditty that I'm sure a lot of people are aware of that listen, but some people aren't. And definitely some folks that I was in contact with about this did not know what it was. And that's Pascal's wager. Now, Pascal's wager it's got an interesting little history. It's been around for probably about 200 years, I think, or so. It was originally postulated as a... it was found originally in his coat pocket after he died. It was written down on a piece of paper. The argument that he had was a little bit more nuanced than the scaled-down version that's very popular today. I'm going to go ahead and read this from somebody's Facebook page where I kind of tried to explain why I don't think that I don't even think that Christians or other believers of whatever religious ilk should use this argument. And the post basically says, "You don't believe in God? That's okay, but why is it so important for many of you to mock those of us who do? If I'm wrong, what have I to lose when I die? Nothing. What have you lost in my believing? My life decisions shouldn't dictate yours. How does my faith in Jesus Christ bring you any harm?" That's a whole different topic. You think it makes me stupid, gullible, ignorant? That's okay. Let me die the stupidest on the planet. How does it affect you? It doesn't. However, if you're wrong, your consequences are far worse. I would rather live my life believing in God and serving Him and find out I was right than not believe in Him and not serve Him and find out I was wrong. Then it's too late. Ain't no shame in my game, etc., etc., etc. So that's a basic understanding of Pascal's wager, which is if I believe in God, in this case it's the Christian God, because that's, for Pascal, it was actually the Catholic version of the Christian God. But if I believe in the Christian God, if I'm right and I die, I go to heaven and I gained everything. If I'm wrong and I die, then I lose nothing. The non-believer, on the other hand, if they die and there's no God, they have lost, they have gained nothing. But if they die and there is a God, meaning the Christian God, then they have lost everything. In other words, you're going to be burning with the pitchforks and the little red guys and all that other good stuff. There's several problems with this argument. The one that I pointed out to the folks on her page, on her post, because like I said, I don't like this particular argument. I don't like to see Christians even use it, and the reason is because it is so easy to tear apart. Right off the top of my head, I can come up with 3 different arguments of why that makes no sense, why the argument is bad. The only problem with the first part was that some people don't understand that when you talk about an argument, and this is something that a lot of us that get into these kind of things all the time forget is that the average person on the street